Now, okay. Welcome everybody to another episode of the Get Inside Me show where I am your host, Miss Patu Loca. I'm so thrilled and I'm so excited because as you guys know, I usually, for the first few episodes, I've had some very intriguing, interesting book writers that came on the show. But what is so exciting to me today is I have this, well, let me call hybrid Jamaican rapper, Sly Rankin. He is authentically Jamaican, of course, because you do have those, the bootleg versions and stuff like that. But he is, authentically Jamaican. And the craziest thing about it is he is here traveling. He's traveled between Jamaica, New York, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida, right? And Miami?
Yep. Oh, Sly Rankin in the building. Shout out Patu Loca.
Yes, I'm so excited because
of course.
You have to be like the first Jamaican artist I've had on the Get Inside Me show because I used to do a reggae show.
So then we making history then. That's good. I like making history. A little bit of history never hurt nobody.
Nope. And for those guys who would like to know everything about Sly Rankin, please look in the description box down below. You'll find every link of all of his social media, even a brief biop about him and his music and the latest mix you dropped today called Up Up.
Yes. Up. That's the freestyle on the Kanye West all day instrumental is crazy. I've been getting a lot of wonderful feedback from it. I mean, I just did that one for the supporters or the Sly Rankin supporters. So.
Now, what I do find, like I was telling you on our previous conversation before we got live on the air, I've heard of you before. I've heard of you. I've heard of your name before back in my reggae and dancehall days when I used to be part of Haitian Connection with Bob Munting and all them other reggae things I used to do back in Chi-Town. So to me, I'm like, I know I've heard your name, but then at the same time, I had no idea how much affiliation you've had with MTV and how your music plays on their shows and everything like that. Like when you're watching the show, you hear the music in the background. Some of your music has been infused in that.
We did a lot of stuff with MTV as far as like soundtrack music because the first project I ever did actually was an album called Rhapsody, and that was the first solo project I really did, and they licensed like a couple songs off of that project, like 4 or 5 or even probably more, and they eventually used. They use most of them. I think they have like 2 left that they haven't used, so we're still waiting to see what they're going to do with those. But I mean, over the years, they have used a lot of the music, and it put my name and Solja Life's name in some interesting places. So we definitely appreciate MTV doing that for us. Working with new artists, upcoming artists. Shout out MTV for doing that.
I also seen that you also did collaborations with BET, Black Entertainment.
We also, there was one particular short film that we had some soundtrack music on as well. Because I started out as part of a collective, a group called Gangsta Colony. Shout out GC, Gangsta Colony. And we had some songs as me and the rest of my group that ended up on a short film. And then the short film ended up on BET. So that was another chance for some exposure that I got fairly early, back in the day. Like that. That was like 2009, probably 2008, somewhere around there.
Now the thing, like, because seeing that I have a background of my background is mainly Caribbean, and seeing that you're Jamaican. You know how, like, when Elephant Man first came out, everybody's like, Elephant Man, who comes up with a name like that? Then you got Sizzla, then you got Chuck Fenda, and all these different exotic singers' names compared to...
It's a bit different from the usual. They normally have we normally have some intriguing names coming out of Jamaica, I guess, now that you mention it.
Yeah, when you think about it, because you have people like Missy Elliott, Timbaland, like, it's so not the same compared to West Indies. So how did you come up with the name Sly Rankin? Is that a nickname you grew up with, or is that you're like, okay, this mixed with that, bam, it's done?
I mean, like the first hip hop name I ever had was Sly Like the Fox. how did I get that? That was out of a comic book that I took like when I was real young. I just started like just making up rhymes in my head before I even thought about ever actually like recording songs. I just was making up rhymes in my head. I just started listening to hip hop. I was like going to high school in Kingston. I just started listening to hip hop and I was making up rhymes in my head. And me and some friends were like, yo, we're gonna choose some names and come back tomorrow with some songs. And it's a local Jamaican comic strip called Sly Rankin that used to be in like some of the magazines. I don't know if anybody remembers. There are probably a lot of Jamaican people who don't even remember that comic strip, but I took that name, and out of Sly Rankin, everybody just ended up calling me Sly. So Sly was what stuck over the years. And then when I decided to like become serious about music and put out my first solo project, I was like, yo, just to make it more personal, I took my real last name, which my real last name is Rankin, but you know, it just so happens that in Jamaica, Rankin is also like a slang. It's an old school slang that people used to use. You know what I mean? That's why you have like Shabba Rankin and Kotti Ranks, because Rankin was like an actual slang, old school slang. So like when I use it for my actual name, it kind of had a ring to it, so it just became Sly Rankin. I put it together, and you know, the rest is history.
You know, there's this video that I saw that you had back in 2009 called Wasn't There. And
yeah,
I really liked that song. And what was so different was it wasn't a diss track. Because normally when guys come out with a song talking about their experience of upbringing with the lack of having a father figure around, it's always somehow like either a diss or it was a good thing he wasn't around type of thing. But for yours, it was more like a sincere, like a dear letter to yourself as you are in the age you are now to a younger version of when you were a kid. Was it a hard track to write?
Go ahead, you asked me what?
No, I say, was that a hard track to write? Wasn't there?
Yeah, you know, it was like, and that was off my first project too. But I always wanted to do a song about like single parent households. I always wanted to do that because I just thought it's something that a lot of people would be able to relate to, as well as the fact that I myself came from that kind of household. And it's kind of an epidemic, I guess, especially in like the African diaspora and like probably, I guess, the black communities. But I mean, it wasn't really a hard song to write because it's pretty much autobiographical. So like everything came naturally because it's all stuff that really happened. It's like my actual growing up story. But I don't know. After I did the song and we released the song, and it was like, I was still living in Jamaica when that song came out, and it was on TV and stuff. And like when it started getting out, I started thinking to myself, like, I didn't realize I was so personal. I didn't realize it was that personal. And like, so in the years after, like, I have total strangers who have spoken to me about that song, and they're like, they know actual details about my life because I went just so personal on the song. But I mean, that's what music is about for me. Yeah. So I don't really mind. I don't mind. I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind. So but I didn't realize at the time that it was that personal because I was just in the moment writing the song. You know, I guess it's one of those things.
No, I mean, to me, I personally loved it a lot. I really liked it a lot because, you know, I lost my dad when I was 12. So my brother was a lot younger. So when I saw it, I was like, you know, I would say I did tear up a little bit. I did. And
you know what it is? It's still a lot of people's favorite songs. Like, even the other day, my homeboy, he was like, yo, I had to show some people this track. So I guess it's just a song that a lot of people can relate to. And I mean, I want to make music like that. Stuff that people can relate to. Stuff that'll, you know, stand the test of time. Stuff that's touching. And I'm glad it touched you.
No, it did. I actually ended up sharing that with my brother and stuff because he was like, "Man, that's a really good track that was." And your music videos. The thing that sticks out to me about your music videos, because for a lot of you listeners, if you guys don't know, don't forget that you are a Jamaican rapper. Do you have?
Yeah, like, I mean, other people. like when they meet me, they just assume I do dancehall or reggae music because I'm from Jamaica, and like when I'm talking, I talk like an ordinary Jamaican. So they assume that I'm making dancehall or reggae music, but I make hip hop music. People like rap bars. That's what I do. That's my specialty. But I mean, there is a lot of there is some dancehall and reggae influence on my music.
No,
Actually,
most definitely.
It's hip hop. It's hip hop.
Can you ever see yourself saying, you know what, I will dedicate and do at least a few tracks for an album, or probably do a complete album, all straight, grimy, dancehall, roots type album?
Yeah, I can see myself doing that. The timing would have to be, right, because I don't want to distract people from the fact that I'm doing hip hop, because I mean, it's like an underground movement in Jamaica of rappers doing hip hop, and it's a lot of them, and they're slowly building an industry. There's like hip hop shows being kept. I kept one there recently, a couple years ago as well. But there's frequent shows being held. Shout out, Pay Attention, and there's a name for the movement. They call it First Coast. So like, people need to really look out for Jamaicans taking rap seriously, because it's happening right there, and I'm a part of that movement, proud pioneer of that movement, and so I'm trying to shed light on that whole thing. As while I'm shedding light on my music, I want to really shed light on the fact that there's an underground like treasure of Jamaican rappers that's about to just do a lot of crazy things globally, because we're in that age right now where you can get your music out like that.
Yes.
They're working out there. So.
Yeah. The one thing I can say now compared to back then is that a lot of times you had a lot of artists back then, may they be in hip hop, R&B, whatever, and they did have Caribbean backgrounds, or they came from overseas, and it was almost like you don't say that. You just do your music, and the more American you come off, the more it seems like your album will sell. So
yeah. I mean, when I if you do your like when I do my research or I read certain articles, I'm surprised at the amount of people, especially in hip hop culture, who have like Caribbean backgrounds. It's crazy. It's a lot of people, but it wasn't. I didn't know that when I was watching them like growing up. Like I mean, everybody knew Busta was Jamaican because he had that wihout track and he was talking Patu and on that track and stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of other people. Cannabis. Got Jamaican parents. Mm-hmm. Even Tiger, Young Money Tiger, he got Jamaican peeps. It's just a lot of people, and Caribbean people from the Caribbean as well, other Caribbean islands. Got Nikki. Nikki is running shit. She's from Chile. So I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, but I mean, the world is getting smaller and cultures are intertwining. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna have stuff like this happen.
Now, have you ever been out and about doing your thing and somebody recognized you and you were like, oh my goodness, like it went from hi to a whole bunch of people chasing you down?
I mean, first of all, I've been in the States for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. So like majority of the music I was doing was while I was still in Jamaica. So that would happen to me in Jamaica. Like people would say, yo, I seen you you were on that show, or I seen you from the video, or so that happened to me. That would happen to me like in Jamaica. But since I've been here, only when I'm in like Jamaican circles, somebody might recognize me from like in Jamaica doing my thing. And then it's kind of weird because you're not people that say hi to you, you're not really sure if they're mistaking you for somebody else, or if there's somebody who you know and you forgot, or if they know you from just the music that you're doing. But I mean, I'm good. I live good with people, so I'm not really worried about that. I don't mind. Approach me if you see me. Say hi.
Now, for you, I see that for a man by the name of Anthony Turner, Jamaica's Observer and Image newsletters. I saw that for you, he said, I am very proud of what I have been able to... you were quoted saying, I am very proud of what I was able to accomplish and feel I have opened the doors for other Jamaican producers, independent labels, and artists to get their music licensed. Now...
because everybody should... we're part of an independent movement called Solja Life Records. Shout out KADEN Cole, that's my manager for Solja Life Records. What we did a deal with MTV. We were pretty much, it was my first project. We were an independent label, and we were Jamaican, and we came from literally just us. We didn't get put on by anybody or nothing like that. We made that connection with MTV ourselves from pitching songs, and we're proud. We're proud of the fact that they know, MTV knows that Jamaican people are making hip hop of a high quality. They know that, from the grassroots, pretty much, and they know that, and we made them know that. And we got a lot of new stuff that we're doing that's going to draw attention to the fact that Jamaica is making hip hop music. So that's a part of the mission. A big part of the mission is shedding light on Jamaican hip hop and having it and growing it too, because it's in its beginning stages. Just like how you had Houston run hip hop for a while, you had Atlanta run hip hop for a while. They probably still are, but you also had the West Coast and New York run hip hop for a while. So let's look out for the 876 taking a piece.
Now, I noticed that they coined you the hybrid Jamaican. And from what I've seen when I did do, my deep research on you, I noticed that for you, the hybrid Jamaican is just not a name that they just attach to you. It happens to be an all-together sound, what they consider the island hop music.
Yeah, we kind of call it island hop just because in one way or the other, the music, it has, that kind of influence, that reggae dancehall influence one way or the other. Sometimes it'll be in the production, we might use a dancehall bass line on some songs, or I might just flip and just start talking Patu on some of the tune then, or, it just might be different things. We might use a reggae sample, but we try in some way to always have the music reflect the Caribbean origin, that we're from. So even though it's still raw hip hop, that's the twist we put on our brand of it. Feel me? So it's a hybrid. It's
like a transformation.
Mixes. We mix it in different ratios at different times, but it's always going to be a mixture. So.
See, for me, back when I used to do reggae, when I used to interview reggae artists and things like that, and I first started off in hip hop, and then I turned around, and when I had the opportunity to do a reggae show, I'm like, even better. I grew up with West Indies, everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it makes sense. But then when I had to go back to hip hop, I was like, to me, there's nothing wrong with hip hop. I love hip hop, you know what I'm saying? But there's something about that West Indies, that Latin, all those different influences, those overseas type, it has extra swag, it has that extra spice. To me, when it comes to artists like Nicki Minaj is a great rapper. But I think just like Rihanna, great R&B singer, pop and R&B, but what gives them that extra seasoning, that sazon, is the fact that they got that swag of the island. And it's the same for you, but it's so completely different because you're a hip hop artist and you so happen to be a male. So do you find it to be challenging that compared to back then, it was almost like you had to keep it hush hush, but now you're in an arena that you, first of all, created yourself, the whole island hop music, and then now you're allowing people to understand hybrid Jamaican rapper means you're combining everything essence of West Indies, but you're fusing it into hip hop.
Yeah. I don't hide the fact that I'm Jamaican. I can't really hide it.
No.
I mean, I don't think when I talk they're gonna know. And if you look me up, that's where most of my history is. That's where I went to school. That's where most of my life is. So my life is. So I mean, I don't try to hide it, but I mean, the only challenge is that when people hear that you're from Jamaica, they don't really expect your hip hop music to be just such raw hip hop, like with actual bars, that's actual punchlines. They're more expecting like some type of dancehall music, like probably on a hip hop beat. Like Baby Shammer's got dancehall songs on beats that are kind of hip hop. I don't know.
No, I definitely understand with you on that one. That's what was like. That's why when I first heard a few of your songs, I was shocked because I'm like, it didn't hit. It's not until I did more research, I'm like, oh my goodness, he's a Jamaican artist. So I'm like, because when I first listened to your music and when I saw your videos, I have to first say, great quality. It is bananas. And it's, you know how you have artists that always have the same concept over and over, and there is not one video of yours that is like a same part 1, part 2. It's like all completely different. And to me, when I first heard you, I just heard you as a hip hop artist. So it was just like
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we wanted to do that with that particular single. We wanted to, I wanted to do that so that people would give me an honest critique as a rapper first, and then be like, oh, he's Jamaican, like after. I don't want it to be like, oh, he's Jamaican, this is probably going to be some kind of reggae music, dancehall music. Let me see what it's about. I kind of want them to judge it on the same standard that they judge other hip-hop music artists or just other hip-hop music, period.
Now for your song, Done Dance. That was your one track that I ended up sharing a few months ago. It was called Done Dance.
Dunce Anthem.
Yeah, I'm sorry, not Done Anthem. I'm sorry about that. Done Anthem. Now, when you come out with songs like that, and do you ever have anybody ever ask you, okay, what does that mean? Because they're gonna dance to it, because it's a hot beat.
Yeah, dunce is just a slang I use, like pretty much instead of saying go crazy, this beat is crazy, oh this party is crazy, this party is crunk, oh this party is stupid, oh she got a stupid ass. I just say dunce, because dunce is a word that we use a lot in Jamaica to mean stupid or to mean, So I just use it. And I just been using it. Go dunce.
So with songs like Breakfast Song, with songs like Tell Them, Drink Up, and then you have Up Up. So when you have these, do you ever can you ever see yourself doing, because you actually have a very nice voice. Can you actually see yourself doing one of those songs where you just sing throughout a song? Just like how you had that one tribute that I was talking about that I first saw that teared me up. Like, can you see yourself doing all that?
Yeah, I don't put any limits on my music. Like I'm a fan of all types of music. Okay. So I mean, I'll experiment with any sound really. I mean, I'm a big fan of rock music too. So I'm looking forward to getting the chance to collaborate with artists from different genres as well. I had some people hit me up from Russia recently, so I'm excited about what we and them can do. But I've done some song with some French rappers as well. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see myself probably putting some vocals on the track for the whole track. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any boundaries when my music is concerned.
Okay, no boundaries. Now, one thing that I found was so interesting while checking your whole thing out is that for you to be a rapper, you're very photogenic. If I were to see your pictures, just like when I was seeing all the different varieties of pictures from all your different album covers and things like that, it was just so weird because I'm like, because normally when you see male rappers, they always try to look all gritty, all grimy, or all like, less polished. But you're a pretty boy.
I mean, I don't, first of all, thank you. I mean, but second of all, I don't know. I like to look clean when I'm going out. So I mean, I'm not trying to present myself as something other than what I am. So I mean, that's me. If you see me out, I'm gonna be looking sharp. I mean, that's just me.
Well, no, yeah, because when I was looking at some of the album covers and some of other photos that was that you do have that are released and things, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm looking. I wasn't sure if you were modeling a clothing line, because I'm like, he looked. I would think, because you know, every time when you think of rappers, and then you think Jamaican, because you know Jamaicans they want to look more rugged, like more like a island type bad boy. To me, I was like, you look so different. Like you're all clean, crisp. Like feeling like I'm looking at a Ralph Lauren commercial. You know, that sounds like what's going on?
That's just the look. I mean, that's just the look. The grit is there. You think you're gonna find the grit, but I mean, as far as the look is clean. That's how we like to carry ourselves when we're in the street, when we're in the club. That's just how we carry ourselves. We like to do it. We like to do it for the ladies, I guess.
Are you gonna be doing any collaborations with any producers or artists that you're excited about?
Well, I mean, right now, I'm doing a project right now, and I'm working with one producer mainly. Shout out Kirkledove, Kirk Bennett. He's a dancehall producer, but he's very talented as a musician. So he's producing some hip hop tracks for us, and it's kind of crossover with the whole reggae vibe. And I mean, he's also Beres Hammond's drummer. He tours with Beres Hammond all the time, so he's an actual musician. So, and we've been getting some tracks from him, and they're absolutely crazy. And like, I'm just trying to put a project together, solid album. So that's what we're working on right now. I'm excited about that. Very excited.
I also saw you have a documentary, and for those of you guys who are interested in seeing a snippet of the documentary, there's a clip in the description box where you can click on it. And it was basically the documentary, from what I've seen, it was mainly showcasing your talent and talking about how Jamaican music has always been out there, especially in the essence of hip hop and R&B in some instance too. You know. Yeah. I mean, the documentary is the main focus that we have right now, and it's a documentary that we started doing, just me and my manager, once again on the strength, and we collaborated with a distribution company who's they're really doing impressive things, and the deals that they're making as far as where it's going to be available and the places that it's going to go, to like just as far as reaching a new audience. So I mean, I'm excited about that, and you can check a trailer for the documentary out. It's called Jamaican Hip Hop, and the website is jahiphop.com, jahiphop.com, and it'll also be available on that site too. But in probably at least a week or so, I'll be able to give you the full initial distribution outlets for it. I don't want to let any cats out the bag right now, but it's definitely going to be a breakthrough for me. Like, but it's also going to be an interesting documentary, because it's shedding light on the fact that they're Jamaicans taking hip hop seriously, and then it kind of shows that there was reggae influence and Jamaican influence in the beginning stages of hip hop, and how hip hop came about. So I mean, we already got, as far as in Jamaica too, we got a lot of the cable companies back home. They really like it already, and they're already agreeing that they're gonna chop it up and show it, like in probably parts. And it's just a good thing. I feel good about it. And there's also a soundtrack attached to the documentary too, with a lot of my music. So people are gonna not just get to see a documentary about the movement; they can hear what the movement sounds like. It's jahiphop.com. I'm excited about that. Very excited. So since we're winding on time, of course, for all of you listeners, thank you so much for tuning in to the Hybrid Jamaican Rapper. Sly Rankin. Trust me, this is not going to be your last time ever hearing about him. I will constantly give you guys updates and be on the lookout for upcoming projects and tours, because I'm coming. I'm waiting for your next performance because I actually want to see you perform live. Your videos was just too hot not to actually see you perform live.
Yeah, so. I got you. We should be doing something on the 20th, so I'm going to give you the details so that you can let people know too. I'm going to give you the details for it.
Well, thank you, all of you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget, check the description box down below for everything Sly Rankin. Follow him and all his social media pages and check out that documentary. You can also find him on iTunes as well. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Sly Rankin.
Oh, bless up, respect.